Welcome to this hour's international news. Let's hear the headlines first. Virus may dash Trump's plan for a Big Bang economic opening. Could it be third time lucky in Iraq with new PM designate? African nationals mistreated, evicted in China over coronavirus. North Korea's Kim in major reshuffle as country steps up virus fight. Indians sex workers fight for survival amid coronavirus lockdown. And Sri Lanka makes cremations compulsory for coronavirus deaths. These were the headlines. Let's jump into the details news now. President Donald Trump almost certainly outgauged his Big Bang reopening of the frozen economy. His hopes for a sharp rebound in the summer of his re-election year are likely to be dashed by the signs of a virus that is highly contagious, for which there is no vaccine and no proven therapies. Furthermore, many states, governors, and big city mayors, why so far retain more public trust over the management of the crisis than Trump, are nervous about a premature end to stay-at-home orders. Trump cannot simply force them to open up, and the administration itself appears far short of the readiness required to reopen the country safely. Mass testing capabilities needed to underwrite a staged return to normal life before the pandemic is contained are nowhere near needed levels. There is also no sign of a government plan for how vital functions like air and surface transport can safely resume without triggering a new wave of mass infections. After two previous candidates failed to form a government, hopes are high among Iraq's political elite the spy chief Mustafa al-Kadhimi will be able to complete the task. Al-Kadhimi's nomination was announced by President Barham Salih on Thursday at a ceremony at Al-Salam Presidential Palace in Baghdad as representatives from the majority of Iraq's political blocs watched on. Moments earlier, Al-Khadim's professor, a former Nafaz governor and leader of the Nasser parliamentary bloc, Adnan al-Julfi, announced the withdrawal of his candidacy. This came weeks after former Communications Minister Mohammad Alawi also stepped aside in the face of strong rejection from influential potential political groups and an anti-government protest movement, which had forced the Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi to step down in December after only a year in office. African students and expertise in China are reportedly being evicted from their homes and mistreated over fears they could spread the novel coronavirus. African ambassadors in China have written to the country's foreign minister over what they call discrimination against Africans as the country seeks to prevent a resurgence of the coronavirus, which originated in central Chinese city of Wuhan last December. Several African countries have separately also demanded that China address their coronavirus certain situations that Africans, in particular in the southern city of Guangzhou, are being mistreated and harassed. In recent days, Africans in Guangzhou have reported being evicted from their apartments by their landlords, being tested for coronavirus several times without being given results. Having brought murder under control, the original outbreak centered of the city of Wuhan, Beijing is now concerned about imported cases and is stepping up security of foreigners and coming into the country and tightening border controls. It has denied any discrimination. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has carried out a major reshuffle of the State Affairs Commission, official media reported on Monday, replacing more than a third of its members. Kim has cemented his grip over the country since coming to power in 2011 and is chairman of the SAC, the North's highest decision-making body. At a rare meeting of the country's Supreme People's Assembly on Sunday, 5 of the ACC's 13 other members were replaced, official news agency KCNA reported. The rubbed stamp parliament met a day after King presided over a governing party Politburo meeting where he called for strict measures to prevent an outbreak of the new coronavirus. A cabinet report submitted to the assembly reiterated the North's insistence that not a single case of coronavirus has been reported in the country. State emergency anti-epidemic campaign will continue to be intensified to prevent the spread of coronavirus, the cabinet report said. The Indian government's decision to impose a strict lockdown in an attempt to curb the spread of the new coronavirus last month has triggered a mass exodus of migrant workers from cities as economic activity came to a standstill. But for thousands of sex workers living in cities across India, there is nowhere to go. The loss of income overnight has plunged one of the most vulnerable and marginalized groups into the depths of anxiety and depression. Bonidas from Kranti, an NGO that works with the children of sex workers in Mumbai, arranged a pass from the police and rushed to the narrow lanes of South Mumbai's city, one of the oldest, biggest, and densest red light areas of India. When she got to the taxi, women emerged from their homes and crowded around her. My heart sank. I only had 100 ration packets for the number of women coming from them general in several hundreds, she told Al Jazeera. The police kept making announcements asking the sex workers to keep a distance, but it was not possible. Minutes later, the ration was over. Sri Lanka has made cremations compulsory for coronavirus victims, ignoring protests from the country's Muslim population, which says the rule goes against Islamic tradition. 3 Muslims are among the 7 people who have so far died from the infectious disease in the country. Their bodies were cremated by the authorities despite protests from relatives. The corpse of the person who has died or is suspected to have died of COVID-19 shall be cremated, Health Minister Pravati Vanina said on Sunday. The decision has also been criticized by right groups. At this difficult time, the authorities should be bringing communities together and not deepening divisions, South Asia Director Biraj Pantatik said earlier this month.